to get to Paititi. This is one of the ideas that people from the community had say, hey, a lot of these cool tombs actually are challenge tombs, and we would like to have, you know, tombs that are much more complex on the main path. And because we had the difficulty, adaptive difficulty in mind, we knew that we could do that. So actually this tomb is on the main path, and it's protecting Paititi. It is hard, but it is cool, and it's epic because it's one of the few, you know, when you look at it, it's one of the few tombs that we have that are open air. And it's the Trial of the Eagle. So there's multiple trials that Lara had to go through, reach Paititi. That's why it's not touched by modernity. It's protecting it. There's a trial of the jaguar, trial of the spider, and this is the trial of the eagle.
Oh, you guys put spiders in the game? Why?
Well, and you know what? I think that one of the things that is most special about this is one of my favorite spots, because it combines several pillars that are so important to the franchise. So if you look at what we're showing here, it's, yes, a tomb, but it also heavily focuses on traversal, heavily focuses on puzzle solving, interacting with the environment, as well as there are some traps in here. If you're not careful, some of the elements that you turn on can actually kill you. And I will say, if you don't want a spoiler, anytime you see Lara take out her bow, close your eyes, and then just keep it closed for about a 10 count, and then you can open it back up. We won't think you're scared, because there's nothing scary in this tomb, but if you want to solve it by yourself, the bow is going to give you some spoilers if you watch.
Yeah, one thing about failing in trial, this is a good example, because in the first place, that map was built by a team we're working with, a great team we're working with, and at some point we were trying to get a very good puzzle. We couldn't do it, so how many times we throw that in the garbage, redo it, and at one point we said, okay, let's bring one of the challenge to put it on one of the puzzle and put it right on the path, and it became one benchmark for all of the other puzzle we made for the game.
So I can say the first version of that puzzle was pretty lame. Just to be honest, it was pretty lame. You know, video games is very hard, you know, and you test a lot of things, and like Mario was saying, it was a team that was building one of the benchmark, what would be like a challenge tomb things, and we were like, wow, man, let's get that and put it there, and it felt right at home with the wind and eagle, so it actually felt right at home, and now people actually love that because it's a great gate.
I love that you like indirectly insulted the first guy that worked on this. You're like, it's pretty lame. There's one person right now crying watching this stream, so good job, Dan. I think that this is also a great
lame
example.
Stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think this is also a great example of if you turned off the white markings, just imagine trying to navigate this space without knowing what you could interact with. That to me is where all you guys who said, you know, I think it's like turn off white paint is the group that Dan was talking about earlier. Everyone in that group, this is where you're going to say, maybe just here we turn it on.
Just for this one tomb, and then I'll turn it back off, I promise.
Exactly.
No, always leave it on. Just leave it on.
Yes, but this is one of my favorite spaces, just because it shows Lara doing what Lara does best, being a brilliant archaeologist. And it's, you know, there's no combat in here, so you can just take your time. You can figure out how does the world work. You know, we always try and make sure that we have very physics-based puzzles, making the world interact and react in a very believable manner. To Dan's earlier point, making it feel like, you know, the civilization could actually build this using the technology and the means that they had at their disposal. So this for me is just such a great example of what makes Shadow of the Tomb Raider special, because you've got an open air tomb, you've got all this puzzle solving, you've got the culture clearly, you know, shining through here. So I just love this.
Got to find another way up.
Whoever did this demo makes it look so easy. It was not this easy when I tried it.
Do you know, believe it or not, when we are making these captures, so I will say a little insider info for you guys, because you were kind enough to join the panel, we probably go through about 20 to 25 captures before we will actually put it up on screen, because we will sit there and to do a run through like this where you don't mess up, like, oh, that was so perfect, except Laura's leg just clipped through that rock right there. Sorry. Go back and re-record this 20-minute segment. And then, and then we make somebody else cry. That's how I make people cry. Dan makes them cry by saying, your work was crap.
But most of the things I say it's crap, it's because me, I directed it too. You know, it's like the tune before this one, I directed it, and it was crap. But
that was you in the mirror talking to yourself. Your work is crap. You make that puzzle not lame.
No, the real challenge to build puzzle like that, and the reason why we throw most of them in the garbage until we find the right one, is